Welcome back, my amazing coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today I am going to take you on a journey that goes far beyond an ordinary coin, far beyond what you usually hear about pocket change, and deep into the unbelievable world of a single 1-cent Liberty 2003 Lincoln penny from the United States that has shocked collectors, appraisers, and experts because of its mysterious errors, strange minting anomalies, and rare production flaws that can push its value all the way to a staggering $310,000 million, an amount that sounds impossible for a tiny copper-colored cent that most people drop on the ground without even picking it up. But in the coin world nothing is impossible, especially when a single small detail changes everything, and that is what we are exploring today as we open the door to one of the most fascinating stories in modern numismatics. A story that begins in the most ordinary place imaginable, the pockets and hands of millions of people who use these 2003 Lincoln cents every single day without realizing that a few of them held secrets worth more than mansions, more than sports cars, more than lifetime fortunes, secrets hidden in their mint marks, their strike quality, their metal composition, their unexpected variations, and the way a single mistake can turn a coin into a once-in-a-generation discovery. When you welcome viewers into a story like this, you want them to feel the excitement, the sense that a tiny clue, a small scratch, a faint doubling of a letter, or the misplacement of a mint mark could be the path to a life-changing treasure, because this is how coins like the 2003 penny make people dream bigger, search harder, and appreciate the incredible complexity behind something we take for granted every day. This script dives into that world, showing how a coin that cost only 1 cent to spend suddenly becomes the center of attention because of the legendary error possibilities that surround the 2003 issue, possibilities that include double dies, off-center strikes, transitional composition mistakes, die break varieties, repunched mint marks, and even rare plating anomalies that can create surfaces unlike anything expected from the Denver Mint's high-speed production process. Many collectors never imagine how many things can go wrong or go spectacularly right from a value standpoint during the minting of a single coin. In 2003, the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies, each one striking metal blanks with intense pressure, shaping the portrait of Abraham Lincoln with precision, carving the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and forming the date 2003 with the familiar D mint mark pressed nearby to show its origin in Denver. The machinery was designed for speed, efficiency, and perfection, but perfection is not always what happens, and often the rarest treasures emerge not from flawless coins but from the flaws themselves, the unexpected shapes, the shifted positions, the abnormalities that collectors love to chase. And that is where the magic of the 2003 penny comes to life, because once you understand how valuable minting mistakes can be, you begin to see just how incredible the world of coin errors becomes. Imagine looking closely at your coin and noticing that the letters on Liberty appear thicker than usual, or doubled, or shadowed in a way that reveals a double die produced during the manufacturing of the die itself, a mistake that happens before the coin is even struck. A double die is not a simple strike error, it is a die error, meaning every coin struck with that faulty die carries the same doubled features, making those coins extremely important to collectors and incredibly valuable when combined with sharp details and well-preserved condition. For a 2003 penny, even the slightest doubling on Liberty or the date could change everything, especially if the doubling is dramatic enough to be seen without magnification or stands out clearly under a jeweler's loupe. Collectors love strong doubling because it proves the coin is the result of a significant minting anomaly, and such anomalies can push the price sky high in auctions, especially when bidders compete fiercely to own a piece of American minting history. Another possibility lies in off-center strikes, where the coin fails to align perfectly with the striking chamber, leaving part of the design missing and part of the blank surface exposed. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the value, especially if important parts of the design remain visible, like the date 2003 and the mint mark D. A perfectly centered date with a large crescent of blank metal stretching across the coin can turn an ordinary penny into a prized error example that collectors will pay thousands to acquire. And if the coin has multiple errors combined, such as an off-center strike and a clipped planchet at the same time, the rarity multiplies, pushing the value into territory where only elite collectors compete. Then we have the possibility of transitional errors involving metal composition. Although 2003 pennies were supposed to be made of zinc cores coated with copper, there is always a slight chance of a leftover copper planchet from earlier decades being struck accidentally, creating a rare transitional composition error worth unimaginable amounts. A pure copper 2003D penny would be so rare that it would immediately capture global attention, spark news headlines and cause collectors to fight for ownership, pushing the price into unbelievable levels. Even a penny with unusual thickness, weight variation, or plating imperfections can become incredibly valuable if authenticated by professional grading services, because such anomalies show that the coin does not follow the expected minting standards. Another key area where huge value emerges is the mint mark itself. The D-mint mark on a 2003 penny can sometimes show signs of repunching, where the mint mark was punched more than once in slightly different positions, leaving shadow-like outlines or doubling patterns around the D. Repunched mint marks are especially fascinating for collectors because they require careful magnification, patience and study, making them the type of variety that advanced numismatists enjoy hunting. A strong repunched D can turn a regular penny into a standout rarity that experts recognize instantly, especially if the coin remains in uncirculated condition with its original mint luster shining across the surfaces. Die cracks and die breaks also play a huge role in creating value. When dies wear out or begin to fracture, they leave raised lines and patterns on the struck coins, forming shapes that can resemble lightning bolts, spiderweb patterns, or lines stretching across Lincoln's portrait or the reverse design. A dramatic die break known as a cut appears when a piece of the die actually breaks off entirely, leaving a large blob-like raised area on the rim or inside the design. Cuts are extremely popular because they are visually striking, unforgettable, and show that the coin came from a die near the end of its life, making such coins much rarer than normal. A 2003D penny with a massive cud and other minor errors combined could easily skyrocket in value, especially if it is a one-of-a-kind piece. Condition matters just as much as errors. A coin with extraordinary color, rainbow toning, brilliant luster or flawless surfaces can elevate even minor varieties to incredible prices. And when a flawless condition combines with a dramatic error, the result is a coin that breaks records, shocks collectors, and becomes a treasure that people dream of discovering in their old jars of change. For a 2003D penny to reach the type of value we're discussing, it must combine multiple layers of rarity, error significance, condition quality, and collector demand, creating a perfect storm of desirability that pushes it into the highest levels of numismatic value ever imagined. As we continue exploring the possibilities behind this extraordinary year, you start to understand why collectors spend hours studying every inch of their coins, searching the edges, the details in Lincoln's hair, the spacing between letters, the shape of the digits in the date, the alignment of the rim and the radius of the strike. Every tiny detail matters because the Denver Mint in 2003 produced over 4 billion pennies, meaning only a microscopic fraction contain errors significant enough to be worth life-changing amounts. This scarcity is what drives the fascination, the passion and the endless search, as collectors know that among billions of ordinary pennies, a handful hold the power to completely transform someone's life, and the story grows even deeper when you consider how many of these rare coins slip into circulation unnoticed, tossed into cash registers, exchanged in supermarkets, dropped into car trays, forgotten in drawers and mixed into counting machines. A priceless 2003D penny could be sitting right now in someone's pocket, completely unknown, waiting for the moment a curious collector takes a closer look and realizes they are holding a treasure worth more than a luxury estate. The chance of discovery is what keeps the excitement alive and creates a magical feeling for anyone who takes the time to look at their change more closely. Now imagine you are holding such a penny, turning it slowly under the light, watching its surface reflect years of history and mystery. You notice something unusual about the lettering or the spacing or the strike, and suddenly you are drawn into a world of possibilities.